How y'all doing today? Today's topic of discussion is going to be reflective listening. Reflective listening. This topic was brought up to me from a family member. They basically wanted me to discuss this in the video because they feel that the people that they're surrounded with and just some of the encounters that they've had, on the job and just in general, revolves around people not utilizing reflective listening. Even though this seems very rudimentary, this is something that I remember being taught in school on, being cognizant of the person that's speaking to you, respecting the speaker and practicing reflective listening skills. It goes out the window. So I agree totally in what this family member stated about people having reflective listening skills. And if it meant enough to them for them to have me bring up and do a video up on it, then so be it. I think there could be a benefit to all. If it's a benefit to one person, it could be a benefit to many others. But when I think of reflective listening skills, I've mentioned this in other videos where I talked about, reflective listening is listening to what the speaker is having to say. And to me, what I identify when I think of a person reflective listening, you giving me verbal cues, to let me know that you're listening. Whether it's, reciting some of what I said back, not that you're just in total awe to where you're trying to memorize everything that I say, but show me that you care about what I'm talking about. Because it's the same thing that I do with others. Not to be on the phone swiping or yeah, or going off on a tangent of something that's totally not related and talking about yourself, just showing that there's just total disregard for what I'm saying. And I've been in situations like that where I've been talking about something that really bothers me, and person goes off on a tangent. They seem like they're listening, and they reverse it around on themselves, and it has nothing to do with what you say. And they never even come back to what you're talking about. It'd be up to you. And it has been, especially with a couple of family members, where I've been talking about something, and they go off on such a tangent. We never come back to visit it, and I try to take them back to what I was talking about, and they venture back up off of again, because they just kind of use it as a segue to talk about something that they're talking about, and it gets really frustrating. And it's gotten to the point where it's just like I just forget it. I don't even worry about mentioning it. And it's also led to me, especially when you're dealing with people like that, to where I won't even share anything with you because you're not respecting my time. You're not practicing those reflective listening skills. So giving your speaker your undivided attention, letting them know that you hear them. It doesn't have to necessarily be advice that you're giving them, but showing a certain degree of empathy. Trying to connect with the person, and just like I said, sometimes it's just even repeating things back to them. Make sure you're hearing them correctly and being engaged, especially over the phone. I know I've encountered that where you're over the phone and you're talking. And I had a friend, he said that he had the same thing as well, where he's talking with the person, it's like no verbal cues whatsoever. You can just go long stretches of time of you talking or telling some situation, and it's just like, you wonder, are they even on the phone? Or are they asleep? What are they doing? And then it's your job as the speaker too, to when you're talking, I know that I try to do it, when I'm talking to a person, to make sure they're along with me. That maybe I'm not talking too fast, I'm just kind of like jumping around. I try to, slow it down, try to make sure that they're engaged and, taking proper breaks in what I'm saying, to have them open to kind of give some feedback. Now, with some of the people that I talked about earlier, where when you talk to, it's almost that you talk to and they go off on tangents, leave what you were ever saying. When you're talking to those type of people, it does kind of give you it does give you the motive to where you would just want to kind of like talk as a motor mouth and not let them get in anything, because the first time you let them get in anything, they're not going to say anything pertaining to you. They're going to either take it to them or take it way off, off way. And then it's hard getting the situation back around. So again, with practicing reflective listening skills, is trying to connect to your speaker. It's giving them eye contact, being engaged with them. I mean, if you need a further breakdown on that, one thing that I commonly do, and I know that you don't get to see that I do this because I'm doing videos with you. I don't know how many times when I'm talking to a loved one and we're breaking things down to their most simplest basic components, to where it's so simple, it can be easy to be missed or written off, or you really not hear what I'm having to say, or they're not really realizing what they're saying. Sometimes I'll go to the dictionary and we'll look up words. Like if I was talking to somebody about reflective listening right here, we would probably stop, take time out to look at the definition of reflective. I'm not talking about talking to somebody where you're just like, oh, you don't have reflective listening skills, let's go to the dictionary. I'm just using that as an example of what we're talking about here. If this is something that me and them were just conversating about, people, man, they really lack skills on, listening reflectively. Well, what is reflective? Maybe it's that we're missing something. I go to the dictionary. I go to the dictionary to look at things, sometimes see if it's something that I'm missing, to break things down to their simplest components. Because sometimes things are so simple we overlook them. So that's the reason why I took time out in this video, because maybe some people are lacking those skills. They think that they are, but they're not. They don't know how they're really offending their speaker. So that's my take on it. In the meantime, if you have questions, hit me up at my email, aim.kilimanjaro@gmail.com. I do my best to answer them in the video. And also, in the meantime, I've written a book, I Am Kilimanjaro's The Arithmetic of Family Communication, which I will leave a link in the description box. Until next time, stay encouraged, avoid being discouraged. You have a good one.